A pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mount Vernon High School as we bring you sectional basketball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Great to have you with us as we get set for game number 1 here tonight, or actually game number 2, but number 1 for the Red Devils are hoping for 3 this week as they'll take on the Cougars of Greenfield Central High School. Troy Nargowski along with Brendan Evans. I'll tell you what, could be a good one here tonight if the Red Devils play well. The one thing we talked about before is that Richmond plays maybe 2-3 quarters, but they don't play a solid 4. And I think in order to win tonight and to advance against a team that beat them earlier this year, they're going to have to play solid 4 quarters and take care of the basketball.
Right, and a lot of times we've seen Richmond have problems with playing the whole 4 quarters. And the most recent example of that was their most recent game. They played the first and second really well. They came into halftime not too far behind, came out, didn't really compete in the third, competed a lot in the fourth, but they were already 25, 30 points behind at that point.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, and we're going to hear from the head coach here in a couple of moments. So we talked with Shane Hillard a little bit ago. They were a little bit late getting here tonight. And I'm not sure exactly why they left as late as they did. I think the one thing they didn't want to do is sit around and watch this one here tonight in the first game, which, by the way, Mount Vernon beat Connorsville. Close ball game into the third quarter, and then basically it was over after that because you saw Mount Vernon team here at home really take them apart.
Well, Mount Vernon just came out and hit, 7, 8, 9 free throws on consecutive runs.
Yeah, they won a huge run.
You can't stop that unless you stop the ball at the perimeter, and they just couldn't do it. Because they put 2 or 3 people right here, fine, wings right open, or wide open.
We'll tell you what we'll do. Let's take a timeout. We're going to come back, hear from Shane Hillard. The one thing he did say, they're going to try to stop the one player that really hurt them last time, Hannah Farrell, had 31 points against the Red Devils last time. She's going to try to stop that and make sure that they don't, or she doesn't beat the Red Devils here tonight. We'll talk with the head coach coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? When you're working for a mover and shaker with strong ties to our community, who are they? When you encounter a group of people eager to roll up their sleeves, who are you most likely to work with? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in Indiana. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Coach, here it is. It's tournament time, and you and I know you've been through this game a lot over the years that when you get to tournament time, everything changes, and whether you had a good year or a bad year, you basically start over. Talk about your preparations this week. You haven't had many days, yesterday basically, but talk a little bit about how you guys feel coming into tonight's game.
I feel pretty good, coming off the loss last weekend, but we talked in the locker room after that loss. Everybody in the state 0-0 right now. I mean, we could have come out of this thing 22-0, and what we do tonight is the only thing that matters. So we did talk about that. We've changed some things over the court. Ever since we've gotten the draw, a little bit of practice time, even though we had 2 games left after the draw, a little bit of practice time every night was spent for this game. So we've been working on it. We're going to do some different things. Went back and watched film from when we played them before. We've got some more recent film on them that we've been watching. So we feel a little bit more prepared than the first time we played them.
I go back a few years ago in my first year. We got beat by Anderson Highland really bad. Went into the sectional tournament, beat them in the first round. Bottom line is, if you come ready to play, anything's possible.
Absolutely, and that's what we talked about. We've talked about, again, nothing else that we've done has mattered. Nothing that they have done has mattered up to this point. All that matters is tonight, and what's going to happen. We're going to walk up here, they're going to throw the ball up, and somebody sees it's done, somebody's going to move on. And it's just that simple. And, I think mentally at practice we've been good preparing for this. The bus ride over was different tonight. I looked at one of my assistants when we were almost pulling in, I said, this bus ride's been different. It's been silent. It feels like they're locked in a little bit. So hopefully that is what it is.
Do you think that when you see something like that they have something to prove? Because I would venture to say most people aren't figuring that this team's going to win tonight.
I absolutely think they feel that way, especially this senior group. I think they feel that they do have something to prove. They want to go out a different way than the way we've been playing for a little bit. So I think they feel that way, and I think we're going to play a little bit harder tonight. I think we're going to bring a different energy. I'll be surprised if we didn't.
Any surprises for Greenfield before we get into any specifics for them?
Well, we're going to throw something different at the Ferris girl, number one. She had 31 against us last time, and we've decided we're not going to let her beat us. We're going to do some different stuff on her, throw some different looks at them, at least make them make some adjustments. So, offensively, I think we're more prepared as far as what they're going to do. Last time we played them, they played that 3-2 that they play. They're pretty decent at it, and they extended it. It was a close game until the halfway through the third quarter, and they extended it and did some different stuff, and we weren't prepared for it. We hadn't worked on it yet, and I tried to do some stuff on the fly and draw some stuff up, and we just weren't ready. But now that we've seen it, and if they do it again, I think that we'll be more prepared for it. We've worked on it. I just think we're better suited for this game tonight.
When you speak of that 3-2, is it basically then an idea that you got to either enter that basketball, find something around with the two lows, or do you try to find something on the outside a little bit more?
We're looking to go middle and put shooters in the corners and just try to make some stuff happen. I didn't feel like the first time when they just set back into 3-2 the first time we played them, we had success. It was when they extended it and started to trap out of it is when it gave us problems. And again, Harrison did that against us a couple games ago, which I thought helped us prepare for this game.
Do you, when you get into tournament play, what advice do you give just some of the younger players who maybe haven't been through this before, knowing that, sometimes you can be a little bit hyped up and you got to keep them calm and not let them get too excited at the beginning of the game?
We have to get our jitters out early. We do. I mean, and with being a young group, we talk to them. We talk, especially Asia being the point. We've told her to just slow down, just make the right play, make the easy play. We talked about it in practice a lot yesterday. Just make the easy play. We don't have to come out here and score 60, 70 points tonight. We just have to score more than they do. So we just want to make the easy play, be solid defensively, and I think what we preach this week. Defense is going to win this game for us tonight. I think if we take care of the ball, we're going to score enough points. Are we defensively going to do a good job on her and take care of the basketball? We can't win this game having 30 turnovers. We're just not going to. If we can stay, 15, 16 turnovers, I believe we can win this game.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
That wasn't good.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are back here at Mount Vernon High School. Thanks for being with us as we get set for the second game here tonight. The first game went to Mount Vernon. They beat Connorsville. They went on a 33-3 run in the third and fourth quarter. So Mount Vernon has advanced, and now it's up to the Red Devils. We'll get the starting lineups coming up in a couple of moments as both teams. Red Devils are the home team tonight. Greenfield Central, they are the visiting team. Go back again to the first game these two teams played. It was a close game until the third quarter when Hannah Farrell went on her run. I will be curious, Brenda, to see what the Red Devils do tonight to try to shut her down. In other words, what they're going to say is, you know what, anybody else can beat us, but it's not going to be her. And I'll be curious to see if Richmond's had enough time to prepare for something like that.
Right, and we heard Coach when they came into the game against Mount Vernon saying they had something that was going to shut down Lexi Shelton, and let's just be flat out honest, it didn't work at all.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to really prepare here tonight for you only had yesterday, really. You had perhaps a little bit on Saturday, but as far as getting ready for tonight, you really just had yesterday to get ready for this game. But the good news is once you've seen a team already one time, you kind of know what they're going to do. There aren't very many changes, at least in schematics here at the end of the year, that you're going to see any different. But I am going to be curious to see. You heard Coach talk about they're going to have to play better defense here tonight. And the other area, again, is turnovers. Red Devils have been turnover-prone way too many times this season, and that's something they'll have to really, really work on here tonight, is taking care of the basketball. Greenfield Central will be in the blue. Let's take a look and see who they will be starting tonight. Boy, I love tournament time. You know, the whole atmosphere is just so much different.
Right.
When I was coaching, it would just had such a great feel walking in, whether you had a bad season or a good season.
Right now, everyone is 0-0.
Everybody's 0-0. And people say, well, that sounds kind of cliche-ish, and I don't know how really accurate that is, but I think it is, because I go back to when we were coaching many, many years ago. We really got pounded by Anderson Highland in the regular season and then beat them in the tournament by 4. So, tell you what, anything can be different here tonight. Hannah Farrell gets the start. Brooklyn Harrell also starting tonight. Addison Hill will also start for the Cougars. I didn't see who the other ones were, but we'll get them as they come out on the floor here in a couple of moments. Red Devils will go with the same starting lineup. Looks like it'll be
Hannah Farrell, Brooklyn Harrell, Peterson. It was Hill and McIntyre.
Okay. All right, so Hill, McIntyre, Peterson, Harrell, and Farrell. Keep an eye on number 1, Farrell, here tonight. Red Devils will go, as I said a little bit ago, basically with the same starting lineup they've gone with for quite a while here toward the end of the season. That includes now Asia Orr, who will be running the point here tonight. We'll also see Kiara Wright in the starting lineup, Zoe Woolridge, Alea Allen, and Jakaya Lotz.
Jakaya Lotz being a person who the other night, her and Zoe Woolridge were the only people in double figures, and you don't see that a lot from a person of her position.
All right, Allen will jump it up in the middle against Brooklyn Harrell. Here we go. Start of the second game here tonight. The winner will advance again to Friday's semifinals championship game coming up on Saturday. First 8 minutes set to go here in Mount Vernon. Cold outside. Hopefully the Red Devils will be hot here tonight in our second game. And you see, again, Greenfield Central opening up in that zone. Not a 3-2, more of a really 1-2-2 with that guard playing out high. That is Crystal Peterson. And the Red Devils don't mind if this game is down in the teens or in the 20s as long as they win this one here tonight. Allen out front. Here's Woolridge. Kiera on the drive in the lane. Will feed Orr for 3, and that's off the mark. So the Red Devils 0 for 1. But I like the patience. You got to be patient against this defense.
Right, and this is a defense who's going to come out. They're not going to make you take shots early. They're going to play it safe, and they're going to make you play 50 seconds of offense if need be.
Well, here we see Lotz is going to face guard Farrell. That's the guard right out front now, right there. So Lotz is going to go. You're basically looking at a box and one right here, and Lotz is going to be all over Farrell no matter where she goes. So far, I like it. See, Lotz doesn't care about anything but Farrell. With the basketball is Hill. So you're, again, a box and one here for the Red Devils. This is going to be interesting to see how Greenfield adjusts to this. They're going to have to find a way to get Lotz away or get Lotz in foul trouble. Good look there at Farrell. Entry pass. That should have been a travel on McIntyre. Now we got a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay with Greenfield Central, but that will be a turnover there for the Cougars.
And you mentioned just a moment ago they've got to get Jakaya Lotz off of her or in foul trouble. And Jakaya Lotz is typically a pretty disciplined football player. Pretty disciplined basketball player.
McIntyre inside, a 2-0 lead. Off the inbounds pass, so now it'll be Richmond basketball. You know, the 3-2, it looks like a 3-2 more when Peterson there at the top drops down to the free throw line as Orr will drive, misses. Allen with a rebound. Allen, the putback good, and the Red Devils get on the board here in the opening period of play.
And Troy, I think the biggest thing for this Red Devil offense is they cannot get They cannot give up a big lead.
Yeah, they're
really
not the kind
10
of
points
team
is dangerous for this team. They've struggled with comebacks from.
Well, they don't have that offensive firepower that you'd like to have. 2-2 ball game. Here, 5:46 to go. Red Devil basketball. Good look at Richmond again against that zone. And Richmond once again will be patient. Here is Wright. Jumper stepped inside the three-point line. And Kiara Wright on the board, and the Red Devils now lead this one 4-2 here in the first period of play.
Troy, that's what you want to see, is be patient and take the open shots that are given to you. Especially by a team that's struggled so far this season.
Yeah, Leah Allen, by the way, will pick up the foul. So Barrett is checked in. Number 24 now for Greenfield Central. Off another inbounds, that's McIntyre. Her shot from the free throw line is good, and McIntyre now has 4. Greenfield Central now 2 of 3 in the shooting department, and it will be Red Devil basketball. Allen off the drive. Lotz with the basketball, nearly carried it. Red Devils again tied at 4. We're just under the 5-minute mark here in this opening period of play. This is probably going to be a low-scoring affair. If you're looking for something high, it may not happen with both teams playing in the zone. Lotz, nope, that's going to be Woolridge. Now to Lotz. Her shot's on the way, no good. And the rebound by Farrell. Farrell down in numbers, going to take it herself at a whistle and a foul. They may get Lotz. And that's going to put Hannah Farrell at the line for 2.
That's really not the person you want to put at their line.
Well, they're going to say that's on the floor, so that's good news for Richmond. 4:38 to go here in the quarter. Entry pass off the inbound Patterson. Here once again is Farrell, stopped on the double team. McIntyre for 3, good. And the Red Devils are going to get a timeout. They're going to have to make an adjustment right here as well on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. A full timeout. 4:31 to go in the first. Greenfield Central on top of this one, 7-4.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard. Always do your best. And if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You know, in that last play, I think the Red Devils got caught down. Lotz ended up getting caught down low, and that's why McIntyre was wide open. So whoever's on McIntyre has to stay there and not let her have that wide open 3. There's a travel, and Richmond turns it over for the first time. So one thing about it, this again, with Lotz doing what she is doing, she in no way can leave Farrell at any time. So the Red Devils back on defense once again.
And I think what they have going is a great idea.
Here's a shot from the corner, no good, as Peterson can't get it to go. Red Devils with the rebound. Here is Allen, the kick out, and Wright loses that out of bounds, and it will be a turnover for the Red Devils.
And Troy, that was great position. You just got to be a little more fundamentally sound than.
Well, one thing about it, I think she kind of took her eye off the basketball. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just got to catch and be ready to shoot. So again, Greenfield Central with the basketball. There's a good look at Farrell. So far, Farrell, no points, so they've done what they needed to do, but there's McIntyre. And McIntyre hurting the Red Devils 7-4, actually 9-4 now here in the quarter.
And Troy, this is exactly what you don't want to see if you're this Richmond ball team. because we've seen this so many times, and they have not been able to come out of it.
Well, one thing about it here, Brendan, don't panic.
Right.
Still a close ball game. That zone that they play, you can score against it if you'll be patient. Make them play defense and play a lot. 3:03 to go. This is Allen with the basketball. Lots. Take that back.
Dangerous
Zoe,
pass.
turnover.
Dangerous pass.
Third turnover for the Red Devils. Down by 5. Ball loose on the floor, and a near steal by Richmond's Asia Orr. Skip pass in the corner. 3 on the way off the mark. As Barrett can't get it to fall. Here come the Red Devils. Allen off the drive in the lane, and we've got a jump ball.
And Troy, something that's huge about playing in this gym is it is so loud in here.
Yeah, it's not a real big gym for sure, and you're right. It can be very, very intimidating at times. Of
Very
course,
nice gym, just not big.
Greenfield brought a pretty good crowd, too.
Yeah, they did.
Of course, they're just down the road.
Right.
Mullins, by the way, in now for Richmond. That's Mullins out front, so Richmond making one change in their lineup. Kiera Wright is on the left. Here's Orr. Now there'll be Lotz. Lotz generally not out in that area. She's an undersized post player. And right now the Red Devils having a difficult time finding a good shot right here.
And they have to get these passes down. That's almost 3 turnovers now because their passes are way too high.
Here's Mullins. Kiera with the basketball. Skip pass and a turnover Richmond. Number 4. Back the other way. Layup no good as Hill can't get it to fall. Here come the Red Devils back the other way. Here's Wright. Orr will find Mullins once again. 1:35 to go. Here in the opening period. Richmond down by 5. That is their biggest deficit. Kiera. Her shot on the way. Good. Kiera Wright hits the 3, and Richmond needed that. 9-7 here in the first quarter. Here's a 3 the other way. That's in and out as it's missed by Peterson, and we've got a rebounding foul on Richmond.
And Troy, we haven't seen it yet, but really the only downside that I see to putting Jakaya Lotz where she's at with this is you're losing a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, that takes her away from the inside. That does take her away from the inside, so that's going to be tough. Ball goes out of bounds. My wife just told me to stand still. She should know I'm nervous by now. My nerves are wrecking me. 1:11 to go. Am I okay now?
It's probably that clicking thing. It's a ticking time bomb or something.
I'm pretty sure she's called me fat. Greenfield Central basketball in the ball game. Entry pass, McIntyre. McIntyre shot fake, drive, good. Well, they've stopped Farrell, but they can't stop McIntyre.
And you better watch what you say about your wife. We may mic her sometime.
She's the one called me fat. I didn't say anything.
You called her out on live TV.
I'm just saying she called me fat.
I'm just saying you better be careful. I'll mic her one day and you won't know it.
Here's Woolridge. Yeah, I hear you. Well, the Red Devils just aren't getting many shots right now. And they've got to find a way to find something, a chink in that armor of this zone someplace. There's Wright again, and that might be it, but she can't hit the shot. And the rebound by Barrett. 18 seconds remaining. Greenfield will play for the final shot. Mullins on the guard. Here is Kiera down in the corner, keeping an eye on Peterson. There's the player they want, Farrell. Farrell driving down the lane. Scoop shot up and good. And Greenfield finishing that opening quarter in a positive nature. After 1 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Greenfield Central 13, Richmond 7, period 2 coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question: so where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer: high school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We're back here at Mount Vernon High School. Troy Darengowski and Richmond High School sophomore phenom, broadcasting phenom, now Brendan Evans, who, by the way, will have several interviews of our Richmond wrestlers who will be headed to the regional coming up on Saturday. A chance to talk to all those guys today, and also reaction from many of the players on the new football coach that we'll have to have someday soon with Tony Lewis leaving. So
right, I just think that it's going to be a lot of stress put on our wrestlers, especially going into, regionals, because now they don't know what's going on. It's always nice to have a little bit of security coming into a big tournament like that. You want to be able to have everything, all the answers, and know what's going on.
By the way, speaking of this one tonight, the Red Devils did a good job on Farrell, just 2 points. Only problem was McIntyre had 11 of their 13. So it is Greenfield Central basketball. Red Devils going to look to trap against Farrell, so they've kind of changed their approach up a little bit now. Here is a shot from three, no good by Hill, and the offensive rebound by Peterson. Red Devils got to find a way to not give Greenfield Central any second opportunities. Good look at Farrell. McIntyre at the top.
And they're really going to struggle with limiting the second chance opportunities without Ja'Kiah Lotz in the paint or even on the court.
Yeah, Lotz getting a break, and now it's up to Allen, who will be face guarding Farrell. Each team playing the zone here, and Richmond actually didn't play it too badly, I don't think, for whatever reason. McIntyre had that excellent opening period, and she's a pretty good player. But it hasn't been Farrell so
I'd
far.
say so if she has 11 of 13 points.
Yeah. Allen just picked up number 2. She's
got to be careful. That's going to hurt her.
Well, you got to have her in the lineup. Richmond doesn't have that much quality depth, and so you really can't afford to lose one of your top players at any point. So, by the way, I was going to say this broadcast area is not the best in the world. We have
we have video.
We do.
That's the bright side of this.
We got a pole in front of us. Here's McIntyre. Nice move inside off the front of the iron. Zoe Woolridge with a rebound. Here comes Richmond.
I have a pole in front of me. You're standing.
I have to now.
Yeah.
Zoe inside to Allen. Ball turned over. Here come the Cougars.
They have to be more patient than this.
That is the 5th turnover now by Richmond. The one thing they said, we got to keep it down to 12 or 13.
Or less. Preferably less.
That's Peterson for 3. Banked it. No. Rebound by the Red Devils. Here's Asia Orr. Well, that's one player right there. They got to get Kiara Wright going again. She's their best, I think their best outside shooter. They got to find a way to get her some shots. In the corner to Wright. Here's Orr, little floater on the way. Good, there you go. Asia Orr picks up her first 2, and the Red Devils back to within 4.
And see, what I liked right there is it was mostly smart basketball. They weren't doing any stupid passes, trying to pass it in between players' legs. It was just good, disciplined basketball.
Oh, boy. That one goes in and out as Addison Hill hits the 3, her first basket of the day, and that one almost popped out on her. 16-9, 5:12 to go. Now here in this second quarter. Mullins, skip pass will find Orr. Asia back to Mullins. Here is Zoe. Nice pass underneath to Wright, and good. That was a nice play.
Yes, it was.
7.
And that's the thing is, especially with...
Well, that's a banked 3 that time by Peterson.
And even with someone like Lucas Croft, if they can't get the ball going outside, they take it inside. And that's what they need to do more often is take it inside, quit trying to force these perimeter shots.
There's Asia Orr again, a little floater this time, misses it. Greenfield Central with a rebound. Farrell lead pass, layup good at the other end by Peterson. And the Red Devils need a 30-second timeout. Biggest lead of the ball game now for the Cougars. 4:24 to go in the second on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Greenfield Central up by 10.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, so far it's come to fruition here tonight, Brendan, where they've really shut Farrell down with just 2 points, but now you've had other players stepping up. That's a sign of a good team.
Now, do you really keep facing up with Farrell, or do you switch it up and go with McIntyre and go back and forth, catch them off guard?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I'll take my chances with keep face guarding Farrell and try to make those. I don't think they can stay as hot as they have been so far, but I think it's a gamble Richmond's got to take. Red Devils basketball. Here's Mullins trying to penetrate that zone, but again, Greenfield does a very nice job of stopping the penetration. Here's Orr. This is Kiera. A couple of seniors maybe playing their final game in a Richmond basketball uniform. That is right. Orr, pull up, shot again, and she's going to go to the line. There you go. That's something you got to make them foul you. For the Red Devils, 7 points by Kiera Wright. Orr has 2. Allen has 2. 11 by McIntyre, 5 by Peterson, and 3 by Hill. And we mentioned again, Farrell just 2 points so far here tonight. First free throw by Asia Orr.
And we really need these to hit.
Anytime the clock is off and you get points on the board and you're down, take it.
You're doing good.
Yeah. I like their scoreboard too. We need one of those. All digital. Like
oh,
that.
Yeah.
Second free throw is good. And into the ball game, Lotz. Mullins is out, so Lotz. See, nope, they're going to keep Allen on Farrell.
Which is also good because now you got, 10, 15 rebounds a game back?
Well, and the other thing is I think that for Allen, she's longer, a little more athletic, not taking anything from Lotz, but Allen's got those long arms. She can really defend on the perimeter just by putting her hands up. Here's McIntyre, near steal by Orr.
And another thing is Alea Allen is just a little bit faster than Jakaya Lotz is, too.
Yeah. Here's McIntyre. Now they're being patient with the zone. I like Greenfield Central's attack here because they're going to make Richmond play some defense. You're up by 8. Make him run around. Try to tuck or mat. It's kind of like with the running game in football. Just keep beating them. But you can't turn it over. That's only their second turnover so far here tonight. Peterson back in, and that will put Hill on the bench now for Greenfield Central. So I like that. Red Devils didn't break down. They forced the turnover there, even though it was really an unforced turnover. Right. But you take it, so now you get a chance, get a 3, you're all of a sudden down by just 5. Here's Lotz. Allen will look to her right. Here's Kiera. And again, the Red Devils drive with Zoe off the glass. Good. There you go. Another nice offensive possession by the Red Devils. Woolridge now has her first 2. There you see the Red Devils back in there is boxing one basically. Again, the 2 forwards and the 2 guards out front. And now Alea Allen sticking right with Farrell. So I think this thinking is for Coach is that bottom line is we're still going to stay with the game plan. Mm-hmm. We don't think the other players can stay as hot as they are
right.
that they've been in the first half. Look at Allen. That's a travel right there. Here's Farrell. McIntyre at the top. Got to stay with her. Don't let her have that outside shot. Here is Harrell with the basketball back to McIntyre. Good defensive possession here for Richmond.
And Troy, what I like is the only person that's coming up and pressing is the person that's on Farrell.
Well, that one hurts because that was too easy for McIntyre. McIntyre now with 13. The Red Devils down by 8 with a minute remaining here in the first half of play. Here's where you now got to make a decision. Do we go ahead and play for one? Can you hold the basketball, which I think they can with this zone the way it is. Try to get one and at least try to get this thing to a 23-17, 23-18 ball game, but you can't turn it over.
But the good thing is there's still a lot of time on the clock, and that's not a good thing if you're Richmond, though, just from the standpoint you're not going to touch the ball again. Greenfield's going to hold it unless they turn it over. They're going to hold it for the last 46.6. Here's the other bad part. Red Devils, again, just can't get that offense rolling. Only 15 points. 7 in the first, 8 in the second. Just nothing there so far. There's McIntyre, left it short. I think they shot that ball quick, but they got the offensive rebound. Then that shot from 3 at the top, good by Hill. Red Devils down by 11. Had a chance to perhaps get it to within 5, but now they're down by 11 with 14 seconds remaining here in this first half of play. Got to check that clock. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Here's Allen. Allen shot on the way, no good, and that's going to do it for the first half. On the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, Greenfield Central leading Richmond 26-15. We'll come back with our halftime report in just a moment. This is sectional basketball right here in Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Honey, isn't it amazing?
What?
The sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. I mean, they really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Well, who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Indiana. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Ralph.
Yeah.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Greatest thing ever happened for Oscar Robertson. You learn to compete.
Basketball in Indiana has a special legacy. It starts with the coaches, develops with the fans, and ends with an amazing community support.
I think one of these days when you're done and you're retired and you kind of shelve that piece of your life, you can look back and be like, wow, that's really incredible.
To play in a state tournament, to be able to play in college, to be able to coach high school girls, and then to be able to see my son coach, basketball has been my life.
Any opportunity I got to play basketball, I played it. You know, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing, and still today I love the game.
And every time Dad put me in, I think as a freshman, sophomore, there was booing. And then the exciting turnaround that when I was a junior and senior, every time he took me out, he got booed. So those were fun times.
Basketball got me an education. Got me to be a worldly person as far as reading articles. Got me to be artistic and understand the cultures of the world, the ballet, the opera. It just opened up your whole mind and thoughts about things other than what you can reach out and touch.
Because I never dreamed of going to college, and basketball gave me the opportunity to not only go to college but play professional ball, and I've been around it my whole life. I'm 58 now, and I've been involved for a lot of years.
Where else
can you walk around? I'm a 65-year-old man, and people say, George, oh, I remember you in '69 with your high school state championship team. I saw you at Butler. I mean, it's incredible. This is the only place here in Indiana that happens.
We have made it to halftime. Welcome back to Mount Vernon as the Red Devils down by 11 here in the first half. Boy, I tell you what, I think the game plan still was good, and I'll tell you why. Farrell, just 2 points in the first half. You got to remember, she's the one that got you for 31. But give Greenfield Central credit because other players have now stepped up. They handled that box and one very well, and especially McIntyre. McIntyre had 11 points in that first half. Now, she got kind of a freebie there with her last basket where the Red Devils had a breakdown on defense, and she kind of waltzed in for the layup. But now on the other side, I think Richmond's good in the turnover department, only 6 turnovers. But they can't get enough shots. That's going to be the key tonight. Can they find enough shots in the second half?
And it's not just that they can't get enough shots. It's also the fact that when they get good shot opportunities, they give it up by a bad pass, by a high pass,
yeah,
low
they had
pass,
a couple of those, didn't
and
they?
then they don't get smart passes like we saw over here when Asia Orr tried to throw it through people's legs.
Yeah.
You can't throw it into traffic like that in a zone.
Yeah.
You have to take your time. You have to try to run something, trick them out of it, kick it out to Kira right, hit a 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
You got to get a different game plan. You got to adjust. You got to come out of this you got to come out of this third quarter very strong.
Well, and you're right. I think the Red Devils, they can't afford to drop more than 11 than they've got right now. So how they start this third quarter is going to be big. We'll get the numbers here in a couple of moments. I'm just going to be curious to see what adjustments they're going to make. I don't think you go away from Farrell still. I think you stay with the game plan until you just absolutely have to say, you know what, we have no chance now. We're going to have to maybe play man-to-man, press a little bit more, but they're not a pressing team. Richmond's not a real pressing team. Now, they might try a little 2-2-1 zone trap and maybe drop back into the man-to-man in the half court. We'll see. But
right, and I think they can succeed if they keep this zone up, but they have to get rid of McIntyre.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they keep the person on Fowler, put a little more attention on McIntyre, I think they'll be fine if they can get their offense going at that point.
I don't know, and I doubt it very much, that Richmond's played a triangle in 2. I haven't seen them play much of a triangle in 2. So now do you think, okay, we've shut down Farrell. How about we take Allen, put her on Farrell, and then maybe take Watts and put her on McIntyre and let the other 3 play a little 1-2 or 2-1 zone inside where they don't have to. I mean, bottom line is you guard the inside, and you have those 2 players as face guard the other 2 all the way around.
Right, and I think that's a great idea, but then that takes away almost all of your rebound aspect because you got the people that are the 3 players that are in the middle. They got to cover the other 3.
Well, then they're going to have to do it.
Right,
the bottom line, they're going to have to rebound.
Right, but that's going to be a problem because they can't all 3 be there at once.
Yeah.
You can only really get one person there, and if you get one person there, they're really not going to have much height unless it's Woolridge.
Well, then you still got Kier, right, and Woolridge. I'd take those 2, put them down on the low block, and then whoever your other player is, Asia Orr, you put her maybe around the HHC and let her guard that outside perimeter and go ahead and guard the other 2. What have I got to lose at this point? I'm down by 11.
Sectionals.
Well, but you know what I mean. I mean, bottom line is you don't want this lead to get any further.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's run down some numbers. Hey, listen, we've never lost a game in the broadcast booth yet with all the great ideas we've had. But it might be a thought. Here's how
we ought to have like a honor team. Come out, just coach a team. I say they give us 2 weeks with a team. Me and you will have them state championship ready in 1.
Oh, yeah, I bet we will. Here's McIntyre, 13 points. Hill with 6. Peterson with 5. And again, Hannah Farrell, team's leading scorer, had 31 against the Red Devils the first time. Just 2 points. That came in the first quarter. So the Red Devils, the game plan has worked. Got to find a way to stop the other players. Red Devils were led by Kiera Wright with 7. Asia Orr had 4. Woolridge with 2. Allen also with 2 points. All right, we'll come back in a moment. Third quarter's coming up. Let's see what adjustments are made on both sides of the basketball. It's coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in Indiana so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Honey, isn't it amazing?
What?
The sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. I mean, they really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Well, who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Indiana. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Rob.
Yeah.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Back here at Mount Vernon High School, Troy Naragowski, Brandon Evans, and as we said a little bit ago, let's see what adjustments will be made. It will be Richmond basketball, I do believe, to begin this third quarter. Kiera Wright, Asia Orr, along with Lotz, Woolridge, and Allen. Red Devils coming to this one. How many seniors do they have, by the way? Is there 3 or 4?
For Richmond?
1, 2, 3, 3 seniors.
For Richmond?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the 3. They did have 4, but one of them's not on the team anymore.
Lotz nearly lost it. Almost a double dribble. Here's Wright back to Orr. And you can see how Greenfield kind of flattened out their zone a little bit. They haven't extended it the way they did in the first matchup with these two teams, where they really extended it beyond the three-point line, and Richmond got into big trouble then. But now they turn it over in their first possession of this quarter, and I kind of looked over there a little bit at Richmond's head coach Shane Hiller. He kind of holding out his hands like, what in the world happened there? Because that was just a bad turnover. Here's a shot from the corner, good, and a three-pointer by Peterson. And the Red Devils now find themselves down by 14 now here in the third.
You know, this is kind of a funny sight looking at Shane talking to Coach Hiller talking to the ref here.
Because the referee's about 6'6".
And Shane's only, 5 foot, lucky?
Oh, no, he's probably about 5'7".
I know, I'm just messing. Kind of looks like it right there.
Well, and Shane's demeanor is, he's always very calm. It's a player who I think you'd like playing for him because he doesn't get upset a lot. But there's a travel by Lotz, and she misses the shot as well. And then the foul on the rebound. Well, you're going to have to now think about gambling a little bit. At some point, as Lotz comes out of the ball game, that's going to be her third foul. So she's going to have to sit for a while. Bennett coming in, Nikayla Bennett. So now the Red Devils down 29-15 here in the third quarter. Got to get a couple of stops here and then a couple of baskets as well and try to get back into this thing. There you go. That's the beginning of it. There's a turnover by Greenfield Central.
I'm not exactly sure where that pass was going, but it went there.
Sometimes so many occasions where you see a player trying to force a ball where it shouldn't go. They don't fake high, go low, or fake low and go high. Sometimes you gotta really try to trick the defensive player into thinking you're going to do one thing and do another. And sometimes in girls basketball especially, you don't see it as much. Nice pass by Orr. Woolridge bobbles it, able to get the possession back. Here is Allen. Jumper on the way, no good. Now if Zoe catches clean, I think she has an easy layup.
And I want to know right there why no one tried to go in and pick up that offensive rebound there.
That was a terrible shot by Farrell. She was out of control at the other end. Woolridge from 14 off the glass, no. Had a good look at it. But now Greenfield after a one and done by Richmond, 5:35 to go here in the third quarter. The drive down the lane, almost too easy there by Hill, and we have another rebounding foul on Richmond.
Looks like they're going to get Bennett.
You're right instead. So Kiera picks up her first. That is just the second team foul, and the basket good. Hill gets the layup. She has 8.
Game's not completely out of hand, but this is what you do not want to see at most.
Well, and
8 or 9 point lead.
Yeah, 16 is probably going to be too much. Woolridge will go to the line, and I'm not trying to, throw in the.
But the good thing is we've seen them compete really well so far, I think.
It's hard if you don't have a perimeter-oriented team against a zone where you can shoot them out of the zone and make them play man. And the Red Devils just haven't. They've had one three-pointer.
Well, they have that with Kira Wright, but she can't get open long enough to.
Yeah, she's not seeing enough opportunities to shoot a ton of threes. As you see, Woolridge missed the free throw. Boy, and you can't miss them both. McIntyre with a rebound. Here's Farrell. Farrell going all the way in, traveled with it. Again, no whistle. Here's Peterson. Anytime you see that little fall back and you drag that pivot foot, the officials letting him play through it here tonight. Here's Farrell. Nice spin. Drives down the lane. Missed it. She continues to struggle, and we've got a foul on McIntyre.
I'm sure that's a person Coach Lillard would like to see foul out.
Yeah, you know what? In reality, when you look back at this right now, McIntyre had 11 in the first. She's been quiet since, just 2. Farrell has not scored since that first basket she got. Those 2 players now are being kept in check, but now you look at Peterson with 8 and Hill with 8. They've made up the difference.
Right, you got to really pick and choose who you attack, but you can't attack a team that has so many attackers.
Yeah, well, right now, let me tell you what, they're packing in the zone. They're daring Richmond to shoot it from the perimeter. Here's Orr, the floater off the glass, no good. Allen with a rebound. Allen takes it back up, missed another one. And the Red Devils continue to be scoreless here in the third. Nice pass by Farrell, breaking to the basket and missing at the other end. See, that was number 3 that time.
Kelsey Mullen.
No, that was them for them. There's not a number 3 on their roster, though. Let's see it was number 2, actually. That was Harold. Brooklyn Harold who missed that shot. 3:57 to go. The Red Devils still no points. And that's going to be a travel. They're going to say that Allen took one too many steps. 8 turnovers now by Richmond. So now the Red Devils will keep an eye on that clock and how long this drought may last. We talked about that earlier. They can't go through these long scoring droughts. That is Barrett with a basketball.
They've
number
had
24.
every opportunity to come back and score.
We have a timeout on the floor. It'll be a full timeout, 1 minute timeout, 3:37 to go in the third on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Greenfield Central 31, Richmond 15.
Meet Josh.
Hi, everybody.
Josh is a high school basketball player, solid shooter, great teammate.
Hey, don't forget my tenacious D.
And he's my son.
Oh.
So, what does Josh do to be the best basketball player he can be?
I play tennis.
Studies show that student athletes here in Indiana who play more than one high school sport are more likely to excel. Tennis does more than improve Josh's conditioning. It gives him a fresh competitive outlet, reduces the risk of injury by cross-training, and introduces him to different coaching techniques and new friends.
Don't get me wrong, hoops are my first love. Tennis just gives me a little break.
So when the new season begins, Josh isn't burned out on basketball. He's eager to play. And you can see the difference in his game.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, Richmond down in this one, 31-15. Welcome back here to Mount Vernon High School. And the Red Devils now have gone on a huge drought here in the third. They've only had 2 free throw attempts so far. Here is Farrell. That's way high off the glass. No good. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by Kiera Wright. You know, one thing about Farrell, you know, she's probably a very good player. Seems like sometimes a little bit out of control. She just kind of chucked that one up there. Wasn't a really good look.
Makes you think whether she was trying to draw the foul more than get the points.
Well, again, Richmond holding her to 2 as Mullins coming out of the Red Devil lineup. And will inbound on the baseline with Farrell. 3:27 remaining in the third. Good entry pass. That shot's no good as Hill a little bit too hard. Here's Asia Orr back the other way. Red Devils with 3:15 to go. Turn it over again. Farrell, the layup. And the Red Devils down by 18. That by far their biggest deficit, and that one's going to be knocked out of bounds as well. Asia Orr needs to cut that down a little bit. You need to come in a little bit more and cut down that passing lane so that defender can't get out there and get another potential steal. The drought now in 5 more seconds will be 5 minutes.
Wow.
And it's now over 5. This is right. You can see that again, I'm going to go back to that 2-3 zone. They've extended a little bit higher this time. They were really packing it in the last 2 possessions. We've got an offensive foul on Lotz. Moving screen on Lotz. That'll be the 10th turnover, and Lotz just picked up her 4th.
And it looked like she had her feet planted, so that's...
She moved that hip a little bit.
Oh, did she?
Oh, yeah, never moved the hip.
So I was looking at my screen at the time when it happened. I didn't quite.
Yeah, by the way, Brendan's is actually running the show tonight. I'm just sitting here enjoying the game. Here's the drive, and Farrell scores. They've only scored 9 in the quarter, but it's been a big 9 points, and there's another turnover by Richmond. Allen turns it over, and right now nothing going right for the Red Devils.
That's 11, right?
That is 11 turnovers.
Wow.
That doesn't sound like much, though, for Richmond because it's been a slow-paced game. But you're still thinking some of them are very costly. Sometimes the timing of the turnover more than it is the amount. That shot way inside by Hill, missed it. Kind of shot that one over the basket. Here's Kiera. Skip pass will find Woolridge and lost it. Lack of concentration. Ball loose on the floor as we will have the possession arrow in favor of Greenfield. But the Red Devils now 13. Take that back, 12 turnovers. Well, Richmond now 6 minutes without scoring in the third quarter. And trail at 35-15, the biggest lead now at 20. Here is Farrell for 3, no good. And the rebound by Zoe Woolridge. Here come the Red Devils. Here's Asia Orr to right. Drive, stripped out of her hands, and it's going to stay here. You know, one thing I'd like to see Kiera do is get that shot fake, take one power dribble, then pull up, instead of trying to take that one extra dribble to get to the basket. Here's Orr. Mullins in the ball game, and boy, Richmond all thumbs right now. They're throwing out gifts here. They aren't throwing any up here, I see. Oh, they're throwing out hot dogs. Surprised you haven't jumped down there to grab a couple. Here's Orr.
Get their attention, man. We need a couple up here.
I know. Hey, he's hungry. They're not even looking at you. Here's Orr on the drive. No. Rebound Asia. Put back. No. Ball goes out of bounds, and Richmond will stay scoreless here in the third.
I say we throw something at them. They're up on the stairs now, closer to us.
That's it right there. If you can get it, well, you're done now. Forget it. You had your chance to get a free hot dog. All right, 1 minute to go here in the third. Red Devils again. Nice cut to the basket and another missed layup by Peterson, and yet still Hill comes away with it. Red Devils not getting the rebounds here in the third either. Nothing has gone right in this third quarter. There's Hill on the drive, and she'll go to the line. Mentioned Mount Vernon winning earlier tonight. They pounded Connorsville. Though that game, by the way, again, was a 2-point ball game. And then you saw Mount Vernon go on a 33-3 run. 30-second timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. 43.6 remaining in the third. Red Devils trail it by 20.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So, where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, 43.6. Red Devils still unable to score. That's really the big story now here in the third. Richmond scored 7 in the first. They scored 8 in the second, and again 0 here in the third quarter. At the line will be Addison Hill. Hill with 8 points. First trip to the free throw line tonight is a successful one. By the way, Greenfield Central just 3 turnovers as well. Now, I think all 3 of their turnovers have been a little bit shady because they just get kind of unforced, but still just 3 is pretty good. Second one on the way, good as well. Every point put on the board now with that Richmond scoring is now the biggest lead of the ball game. You kind of tell now Richmond, the body language isn't real good at the moment. They got a long way to go.
Walking across the court.
Well, and you know what? Sometimes you're thinking, man, we were within striking distance, and that's Kiera trying to drive into traffic, and they're frustrated, I understand, because they just can't seem to get anything going against this zone. And you go back to the first game, that's kind of what happened to me. It was a close ball game, and then it just widened again. 8 seconds remaining. This is Farrell. Lost it. Turnover number 4. Here comes Asia Orr. Will the Red Devils score? Nope, that's going to be blocked, and Richmond's going to get shut out here in the third quarter. On the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, Greenfield Central 37, Richmond 15. This is Richmond Girls Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Indiana, who do you meet? When you're working for a mover and shaker with strong ties to our community, who are they? When you encounter a group of people eager to roll up their sleeves, who are you most likely to work with? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in Indiana. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, Richmond down 37-15. If you were to go to Vegas and say, well, here are the odds, it probably isn't real good. The Red Devils are going to win. But now, see if they can find something positive to build on here after they're scoreless in that third quarter.
And I think at this point you just kind of give your seniors quite a few shots here.
Well, you know, there's an opening right there. See the HHC. McIntyre's trying to watch 2 players running the baseline. I think you flash one to the HHC, commit her, go high-low, and try to find, Zoe Woolridge underneath, because I think that area is going to be open because McIntyre's going to bite on it. Here is Allen off the drive, and Richmond scores at 7:24 in the quarter. So the Red Devils went
A whole quarter.
8 minutes and 36 seconds. And they finally get a basket.
Plus the second quarter, but we weren't keeping track of that.
Yeah, we're just going to go for the second half because we didn't know they were going to go on a drought in the third quarter. Nice pass inside, layup good. Nice cut by Hill. By the way, Hill now with 12 points. She, along with McIntyre, the two players in double figures now. Here is Mullins for three, and an air ball out of bounds.
Man.
Well, when it's not going well, it's not going well. They're about as cold as the temperature outside.
Man, that just hurts. I wouldn't even go that bad.
Well, it's cold. Nice hustle by Bennett. By the way, we'll have all the sectional scores for tonight. We have coverage and post-game reaction from those games that are being played down at the Union County sectional. We'll have that either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll definitely have all the scores for you on the sports page tomorrow morning. A lot of people kind of hunkering down, getting ready for a really cold night. We were trying to find a close parking space, and we found one all right. We made one. Here is Farrell, and missing with the left-hand layup, gets the rebound, and, boy, that should have been a jump ball right there, but he feeds it off to McIntyre for two. She has 15.
Yeah, for some reason, both schools frown upon when you park in their flower bed.
Well, there's no flowers in it now. They don't need it. You know what I found funny coming in? I'm not going to change the subject here much, but there's Orr, Allen, Bennett, missed it. Rebound by Farrell. Is that it was right in front of the building. Somebody left it wide open for us. 41-17 it was meant to be.
When we leave, we got to slap a Radio Troy sticker on it. That's our parking spot.
That's right. Leave them a thank you note.
Yeah.
5:32 to go, and Richmond just 2 points now in the entire second half as Greenfield, this is where they can really run some clock right here. And as I say that, a three-pointer by Peterson and a whistle and a foul on the rebound will go against Greenfield Central. You know what's funny about the first game is how quickly that got out of hand. This one was a little more gradual. When you watch Mount Vernon, which they could win this thing, they're here at home, and they're pretty good. But
especially with Lexi Shelton, man.
Yeah,
she's
Shelton
just a beast.
They
She's
won
unstoppable.
33-3 run, though. I mean, that was crazy. I was looking at Connorsville hadn't scored a basket at one point since 7:09 in the third. They went deep into the fourth quarter. They won a huge drought, just like Richmond did tonight. Here's Orr, lost it. Red Devils now with 13 turnovers and knocked out of bounds in transition by Farrell. By the way, if you see the game and you see a little bit of shaking, it's that we're on a platform here, and anybody that moves, it feels like we're in an earthquake.
I think you just moved the laptop on like 3 tables down, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not a great broadcast position. We've got a big pole in front of us, so sometimes you got to look over it, sometimes look under it. So here's a nice pass inside to Farrell. Well, Farrell with 8 points. Well below her average, and Richmond down 43-17.
Well, I think Richmond's done a great job of shutting her down. They just need to worry about the rest of the team next time.
Yeah, well, it didn't work that way, did it? Orr misses the three. Farrell with the rebound and a foul call. Well, it's tough. You're coming in. I think Richmond peaked at Tipton. And when they beat Tipton and then they beat the team out of Illinois and they went to the championship game and lost a close one, I think they just kind of hit the wall after that.
Wasn't that really close to overtime?
Might have been overtime. But they didn't really play well consistently after that. And Greenfield's going to call a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here for this timeout. Want to remind everybody the boys' game on Thursday has been postponed against Anderson. We understand that game's going to be played on February 16th, correct?
Correct.
The Earlham men's game that was to be played tomorrow night against Transylvania now will be played on Thursday night, same time. So we have those couple of changes. So everybody's kind of shutting things down tomorrow.
Really supposed to be the same weather, so I'm not sure why they didn't postpone it for longer.
Now by Thursday night, we're going to get to 60, I think. So Hey, it's kind of what it's, this weekend is supposed to be close to 60.
Thursday they canceled school because it's supposed to be
cold.
Or same weather.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine being 60 or so on Saturday or Sunday?
It's supposed to get around 40 or 50, yeah.
Red Devils are going to try to press a little bit here. Probably need to go out of that man a little bit sooner, but there's a nice pass to Farrell. Problem is you played that zone so much tonight, won't make a whole lot of difference here. Halfway through the fourth quarter, and Richmond is going to see their season come to an end. Now here's the other thing. While we have a minute, Richmond's going to have to find a way. They're going to lose these 3 seniors. Been very, very good for this program, but they don't have a ton of depth. There's Wright missing. Rebound by Allen, put back good. Red Devils don't have a ton of depth. The JV has a lot of work to do. They've got to find a way to get this program, get numbers in the basketball program, much like many of the programs. Football, boys basketball didn't have very many players come out for basketball this year. I thought maybe wrestling was much better from a participation standpoint.
I saw quite a few basketball players go out and went out and wrestle this year,
right.
too.
Well, I just think for Richmond, you got to get that feeder system going now. There is Farrell again. She's going to look pretty good in the score sheet, but she had only 2 points.
Quarter.
Yeah, she's 6 points in the fourth. She has 10 in the second half. She'll end up in double figures, but the Red Devils did what they had to do against her. Just, again, a couple of their players stepped up.
Right here, if I'm Coach Hillard, I'm putting all 3 of my seniors in. This is going to be their last game.
Here's Orr. Are they all in now?
No.
Just 2 of them?
Just 1 of them.
Okay, well, yeah, probably will give them a chance to come. There's McIntyre. I would venture to say what he'll do is he'll bring him in and then give him a chance to come out and be recognized by the Richmond fans that are here.
Well, he only has 1 of them ready to come in, so I wonder.
Yeah, and Mullins is the other one, right?
Yeah, Mullins, Wright, and Woolridge.
Greenfield's going to make some wholesale changes. And we've got a whistle and a foul. Well, generally the idea is you go ahead and get your seniors in there, and then maybe about a minute left, take them out. Here's Orr at the line.
And it looks like we're about to see all 3 seniors on the floor here.
Well, as a senior, when you play your last game, you go back to thinking about when you were a freshman, and you thought, I have all the time in the world. And then all of a sudden you're a senior and you're down to your last game.
I know all about that.
You're not a senior yet.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very difficult when I played my last game, because you never get it back. And that's what you try to tell high school kids. You better enjoy this, because it's going to go quick, and it'll never come again. Second free throw is missed. By the way, all new players in now for Greenfield. Good look there at Haley Arthur. She is a freshman. And this is where we call it slop time, because things are getting a little sloppy, Poppy. All right, here's Mullins. Now what you do here is you play him till about a minute, and then you get him out.
Why do you want to pull him out?
Well, give him a chance to be recognized by the fans here and the players. Give them a chance to get maybe a little applause as they leave the floor for the last time. Here's Mullins, and a foul. I think it's going to be away from the basketball. By the way, Zoe Starks is a freshman. She is in for Greenfield Central. Zoe Solis is in, a sophomore. Who else have they brought in? Kylie Rogers is a junior. And Richmond just threw it in the backcourt and turned it over. That's 15 turnovers. Plus, I think bottom line is, with a minute 53, I'd clear my bench and let those other players get a chance to get some.
Put some of the JV in.
Yeah, get them some sectional experience.
Or actually, I'd put all the JV in. There's only 4 of them.
Yeah. Ball knocked out of bounds with a minute 47. So Richmond's season will come to an end here tonight. There's a nice drive, not a finish though. as Starks unable to put it in the basket. 5 turnovers now by Greenfield. And we're down a minute 41. Well, we will look back at the third quarter as what killed the Red Devils here tonight as they went scoreless. They went 8 minutes and 36 seconds of the second half without scoring a single point. Here is Wright. Bennett able to get the rebound there for Richmond and then stolen away. Red Devils with their 16th turnover. And we're down a minute to go. Here you go. Now you're going to get your 3 seniors out right here. You would hope that if Greenfield sees this, they'd call a timeout too and let that happen, but I think we'll see a turnover somewhere here. Ball loose, picked up by the Cougars. I'd hate to see them not get recognized here at the end of the ball game. And, well, there you go. See, I knew there'd be a turnover or something there. So here they come, their last game. Mullins is out, Wright is out, Woolridge. And they will play their last game here tonight.
Also 13, Bobby O'Brien.
So the Red Devils bring O'Brien in. See who else is checked in the lineup here for the Red Devils.
Tristan Neely.
Neely is in, and number 30, is that Brewer?
Yes, Abby Brewer.
Okay, so those are the 3 players that came in. There's a foul on Allen. 32.6 seconds remaining.
See, the good thing here is I'm most familiar with the JV because those are my peers, the kids that I've gone to school with for eons, it feels like.
Kid's a sophomore, and he thinks he's been in school in eons. You realize you only have 4 more months left. You got February, March, April, and May, and you're back into summer vacation. Solis with the free throw. Do you realize that? You know how fast that's going to go? After this cold streak we got here, it's going to warm up, and then all of a sudden it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer. Solis, with the 2 free throws. And we're down to our final 29 seconds. This is Allen. After this one, we'll take a very short break and then wrap it up here for Mount Vernon. Neely will find Allen. Ball loose, 8 seconds to go. Run down by Bennett. Maybe we'll get a shot here. Allen unable to get that one off. 1 second to go, and that's going to do it. Your final score, Greenfield Central 51, Richmond 22. We'll come back and wrap it up in a moment.
The debate about sports specialization by high school athletes continues. Some argue that high school athletes who play one sport all year long have a better chance of landing a lucrative pro contract. But that's simply not true. In fact, 30 of the 32 first-round picks in last year's NFL draft played more than one sport in high school. Of the 32 players drafted, 22 also participated in high school track and field. 19 also played basketball. Some also played baseball and lacrosse. What's the path to success for high school athletes here in Indiana, no matter what their goals might be? Study hard, always do your best, and if you can, play more than one sport in high school. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Season is over for the Red Devils. They lose it to 51-22, and again, that third quarter was really the killer. You cannot go 8 minutes and 36 seconds without scoring and expect to beat a team like Greenfield.
Right, and you can't do that with any team, really, because if you think about it, Greenfield went on a bit of a scoring drought that wasn't nowhere near 8.5 minutes.
Nothing like that. Real quick scoring summary, and then we'll get out of here because we want to get home on this cold night as well. 17 by McIntyre, 12 by Farrell, 12 by Hill, 8 points by Peterson, and 2 points by Solis. Red Devils were led by Orr with 7, Wright with 7, Allen with 6, and Woolridge finished with 22. The Red Devils turned the ball over 16 times. It's about where they needed it to be, but the scoring was the issue. Well, listen, thanks for being with us again. We'll see you next time. Next time the Red Devil boys play, we're expecting that on Saturday on the road at New Pal. That's a 2:30 tip-off time.
I will not be there, by the way.
Yeah, see, you can't. All these, you're going to be covering regional wrestling coming up, and that'll be taking place at the Tiernan Center.
9 a.m.
But that is a 2:05, around, I'd say 2:15 pregame and around a 2:30 tip-off time. We'll have it for you right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Final score, Greenfield Central 51, Richmond 22. Thanks for being with us. This has been sectional basketball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.